Imagine waking up to a country where the giants of American business are quietly packing their bags and heading north. Not for a vacation, but for survival. In 2025, the American economic dream is unraveling in real time. And the new promised land? Canada. Lower corporate taxes, friendlier regulations, and a government that rolls out the red carpet for innovation. This isn't a drill. We're talking billion-dollar moves, thousands of jobs relocated, and once proud U.S. companies rewriting their futures under a different flag. Why are these companies leaving the country that birthed them? And what does this mean for the future of the U.S. economy? Today, we're counting down 10 American companies abandoning the U.S. for Canada in 2025. The reasons will shock you, and number 1, it changes everything. Number 10, Twitter. It may have started as a rumor, but in 2025, it's becoming very real. Twitter, now known as X under Elon Musk, is preparing to shift critical infrastructure to Canada, specifically a brand new data center in Quebec, one of the most unexpected moves in the tech world this year. Why? Because America, the so-called home of free speech, is now making it harder than ever for platforms like X to operate freely. Quebec, on the other hand, offers a gold mine: low-cost hydroelectric energy, flexible data regulation, and generous tax incentives for cloud infrastructure. For a company like X that's constantly in the spotlight and under pressure, that's not just convenient, it's survival. And let's not forget the economics. Electricity in Quebec is over 30% cheaper than in most U.S. tech hubs. Combine that with fewer legal hurdles and lower compliance costs, and suddenly the U.S. becomes the more expensive, more hostile option for innovation. This shift isn't just symbolic, it's strategic. If X relocates its core systems, millions of American users' data could soon be hosted in another country. That raises serious national security concerns, and even bigger questions about whether the U.S. can still compete in the global tech race. If Elon Musk, a billionaire who's publicly defended American ideals, is looking north for stability, what does that say about where the future is headed? Number 9, GE Renewable Energy. This one hurts, because it's not just about money, it's about the future of clean energy. In early 2025, GE Renewable Energy, one of America's flagship green tech companies, announced it was relocating 2 of its wind turbine manufacturing plants from Illinois to Saskatchewan, Canada. Yes, Saskatchewan, a place few Americans can point to on a map, is now stealing U.S. clean energy jobs. So why the shift? It all comes down to speed, space, and stability. Canada isn't bogged down by the same bureaucratic chokeholds that plague U.S. energy infrastructure. While American manufacturers battle endless permitting delays and tangled state regulations, Canada is offering streamlined approvals and vast land access, with far lower costs. GE executives made it clear, manufacturing wind turbines in Illinois had become too slow, too expensive, and too unpredictable. Meanwhile, Saskatchewan provides cheap land, abundant renewable resources, and a direct pipeline to international export markets. For GE, it wasn't a gamble, it was a lifeline. But the impact? Devastating. Thousands of skilled workers in Illinois are now facing layoffs, and the local supply chain, from steel to transport, is collapsing. This isn't just a job relocation, it's an entire ecosystem unraveling. And if America's green energy future is being manufactured in Canada, how long before other climate tech pioneers follow? This isn't just GE's move, it's a signal that the clean energy revolution is slipping through America's fingers. Number 8, 3M. For over a century, 3M has been the pride of American manufacturing, making everything from Scotch tape to N95 masks. But in 2025, even this iconic brand is restructuring its North American distribution hub. And guess what? It's shifting major operations to Alberta, Canada. This isn't a symbolic move. It's a calculated retreat. In the U.S., logistics costs have spiked to 15-year highs thanks to rising fuel prices, new import tariffs, and a persistent trucker shortage. Alberta, meanwhile, is offering something the U.S. can't: subsidized fuel, price-controlled energy, and a government that supports industrial supply chains, not strangle them. The numbers don't lie. 3M's distribution costs in Ohio and Texas jumped by 18% in under 12 months, while Canada's West Coast offers proximity to major ports and lower freight expenses. That means cheaper exports, faster delivery, and bigger profits. For 3M, the choice wasn't about patriotism. It was about survival, and in 2025, Canada is simply a better place to do business. If a company that built its reputation on American soil is now pulling up its roots, what does that say about the direction we're headed? This isn't just about sticky notes and safety gear. It's about the slow death of American industrial leadership. Before we move on, hit the like button to boost this video in the algorithm and support our work. Number 7. Coursera. If there's one company that changed how the world learns, it's Coursera. Born out of Stanford, this platform made Ivy League education accessible to millions, from farmers in India to single moms in Ohio. But in 2025, Coursera made a move no one expected. It left New York's education tech hub and is now expanding fast in Canada. Why? One word: freedom. The Trudeau government just launched a $4.2 billion education modernization program, and Coursera is its crown jewel. Canada is offering a 7-year tax exemption for qualifying digital education platforms, along with lightning-fast internet rollouts in remote areas. That means more users, lower costs, and fewer regulatory headaches. Meanwhile, in the US, Coursera is suffocating under new federal mandates. Content vetting laws, student data regulations, and costly licensing processes for every single online course. It's bureaucracy on steroids. Canada, by contrast, is treating EdTech as a national priority, not a regulatory punching bag. And now, Coursera is building its Global Innovation Center in Toronto, attracting talent from around the world. When a company that democratized education can't breathe in its own country and has to cross the border to survive, you know something is deeply broken. America is losing not just a business, but a vision for accessible digital learning. Number 6. Block, formerly Square. Founded by Twitter's Jack Dorsey, Square, now Block, was once hailed as the future of American finance. It empowered millions of small businesses to accept payments, invest in crypto, and access the digital economy. But now, Square is moving its innovation headquarters to Toronto and quietly shifting financial services out of the US. The reason? Canada is embracing fintech while America is burying it in red tape. In 2025, the US introduced strict new laws on stablecoins, requiring exhaustive compliance processes and multi-agency approvals, a nightmare for companies like Block. Canada, on the other hand, created a fintech sandbox, a flexible, regulation-light zone for financial experimentation. And then there's cost. Healthcare in Canada, 60% cheaper. Tech labor, highly skilled and more affordable. Data privacy laws, clear, stable, and innovation-friendly. It's no wonder Block chose Toronto over San Francisco for its next generation of financial apps. This isn't just a satellite office. It's a strategic pivot, one that could see Square processing billions in transactions from Canada, not California. When even financial innovators are fleeing to friendlier climates, we're not just losing tech. We're losing the tools that small businesses depend on, and the systems that keep our economy moving. Before we uncover the next company, hit that subscribe button, like, and hit the notification bell. It's your ticket to the stories no one else dares to tell. The more you support, the more truths we expose. Number 5. Etsy. Etsy wasn't just a marketplace, it was a movement, a safe haven for handmade goods, political jewelry, protest art, and deeply personal creations. But in mid-2025, that identity was shaken. Etsy announced a major relocation of its operations to Ottawa, Canada, and the reason is one word: censorship. Under new US legislation, platforms like Etsy are now liable for user-generated content. That means controversial items, anti-war pins, satirical stickers, even books about protest are being flagged and removed. Sellers are furious, lawsuits are mounting, and Etsy is caught in the middle, forced to silence the very creativity it once empowered. Canada, meanwhile, offered a lifeline. Ottawa welcomed Etsy with open arms, promising zero digital taxes for 5 years and no mandatory content filtering under its current tech laws. For Etsy, the choice was clear: stay in the US and strangle its soul, or move north and breathe again. Now, its engineering and customer service teams are being rebuilt in Canada, and digital freedom is part of the company's mission again. But make no mistake, this isn't just a business decision, it's a cultural red flag. When a platform built on American creativity and freedom of expression decides it's safer in Canada, we've got a bigger problem than policy. we've got a nation at odds with its own values. Number 4. Adobe. Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro. These tools built the visual internet, and they were all born under the Adobe banner in Silicon Valley. But in 2025, Adobe did something unthinkable. It officially opened a North American operations hub in Vancouver and slashed its US footprint in California. Why? Because America's costs are too high and its policies too hostile. Hiring top global talent in the US? A bureaucratic nightmare. In Canada, Adobe gets work permits approved in 2 weeks under the global talent stream. In California, it takes months and tens of thousands in legal fees. Then there's healthcare. In the US, Adobe spends millions every year covering employee insurance. In Canada, public healthcare slashes those costs by over 60%. Add in Canada's light-touch labor laws and tech incentives, and Vancouver is no longer a branch. It's the future headquarters of creative tech. The move shocked the design world. Adobe isn't just shifting roles, it's redirecting resources, prioritizing Canada for product launches, beta testing, and developer outreach. If even Adobe, one of America's most iconic software giants, is downsizing in its homeland, how long before the rest of Silicon Valley follows? And when that day comes, will there be any innovation left to hold on to? Number 3. Rivian. Rivian was America's great electric vehicle hope. Backed by Amazon, pumped with federal dollars, and hyped as the next Tesla, Rivian was building trucks, SUVs, and dreams in the heart of Illinois. But in 2025, that dream took a sharp turn north. Rivian announced a massive new assembly plant in Ontario, Canada, and plans to shift major production out of the US. Why? Because Canada rolled out 10-year tax breaks for green tech manufacturing, offered zero tariffs on key battery components, and promised streamlined permits. Meanwhile, back home, Trump's new policies slapped 50% taxes on imported lithium, a death sentence for EV makers who still rely on global supply chains. It's not just about money. In Canada, Rivian gets cheaper energy, faster logistics, and access to clean tech grants that dwarf what US states are offering. It's building batteries in Ontario and assembling vehicles for North America, while US factories face rising costs and layoffs. For Illinois, this isn't just a loss, it's an unraveling. Thousands of jobs are at stake. Local suppliers are already reporting canceled contracts, and the message is loud and clear. America's EV revolution might not be made in America anymore. If the US keeps taxing its innovators into retreat, Rivian won't be the last to flee. It'll be the first of many. Number 2. Moderna. Remember Moderna? The company that helped the US survive COVID? The biotech powerhouse that became a household name during the pandemic? In 2025, that very same company is betting its future on Canada and quietly shifting its mRNA research to Montreal. This isn't just a branch office. Moderna is moving core R&D operations, building a $500 million cancer vaccine facility, and relocating top scientists to Quebec. Why? Because Canada is doing what the US won't, cutting red tape and funding medical breakthroughs. Under new US regulations, clinical trials have become a nightmare of bureaucracy and litigation risk. Patent fights, data privacy rules, and endless approval cycles have stalled innovation. Moderna had to choose, and it chose speed, stability, and support in Canada. In contrast, Canada has slashed approval timelines, boosted federal grants, and simplified access to trial participants. It's now the go-to destination for cutting-edge biotech. Montreal, not Boston or San Diego, is leading the charge in mRNA cancer therapies. This isn't just about one company. It's about what it represents. If Moderna, the symbol of American medical innovation, can't survive the US system, what hope is there for smaller startups? The US may have won the vaccine race in 2020, but in 2025, it's losing the war for the future of medicine. Number 1. Salesforce. It's the biggest shock of all. Salesforce, the tech titan once hailed as the crown jewel of American cloud innovation, is leaving its US strongholds behind. In 2025, the company closed major development centers in Seattle, Dallas, and Atlanta, and redirected over $700 million in investment to a sprawling new campus in Toronto, Canada. That's not an expansion, that's a relocation. Why is Salesforce, a company born in the heart of Silicon Valley, pivoting to Canada? Because Canada is no longer just competition, it's winning. Toronto now rivals San Francisco with a thriving startup ecosystem, abundant tech talent, and business-friendly immigration laws. Engineers from India, Ukraine, Brazil, Canada gets them in 2 weeks. In the US, it can take 6 months, or not happen at all. Add to that Canada's lower corporate taxes, cheaper healthcare, and lighter labor laws, and the answer becomes obvious. Salesforce isn't running away, it's running towards something better. The move has sent shockwaves through the American tech world. If Salesforce, with all its power and prestige, no longer sees the US as the best place to build the future, what does that say about the direction we're headed? 10 American companies, giants, innovators, household names, are now betting their futures on Canada. Not because they hate the United States, not because they're unpatriotic, but because they can't thrive here anymore. The exodus is real, and it's growing. While Washington fights culture wars and piles on regulations, Canada is quietly rolling out the red carpet, offering a clear path forward, lower costs, smarter policies, and a promise that innovation won't be punished. If you think this trend is temporary, think again. With every factory that closes, every lab that relocates, and every job that migrates north, the American dream loses a little more oxygen. So ask yourself, is this just business, or is it the beginning of something bigger? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Globe Discoveries for more hard-hitting breakdowns of the global shifts reshaping our future. Because this isn't just a list, it's a warning. The future of American enterprise is crossing the border, and it's not looking back.